Yo, what is going on? My name is Mark, and I'm the host of this podcast. You're listening to the Risen Fallen podcast. And if you're brand new to this show, thank you very much for stumbling upon this podcast. I appreciate you. Hopefully you decide to come back and be a returning listener. If you are a returning listener or a returning viewer, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast on some podcast platform, no matter who you are, whether you listen to this podcast before, you never listened to this podcast before, you are the reason that I do what I do. And I hope you're doing well. You can expect, open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, pushing through tough times, and essentially getting your life to a place where you feel good, you feel happier, you feel at least like you're on the right path, whether you see slow improvement, fast improvement, whatever it could be. But that's what these types of conversations revolve around. And, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know that I'm currently doing the 75 Hard program. I'm about a third of the way through it right now, maybe a little bit more by the time that this comes out. I'm doing pretty well with it. I'm feeling pretty good. Like I said, I've had a couple of different episodes where I talk about how I'm doing it, what I'm doing right now, what my workouts look like, what my nutrition looks like, etc. I've talked about the books that I'm reading. But that's not what this episode is about. Now, since I started this program, there's been a couple people on my Instagram that started this program as well. And for that, I'm fucking proud of you guys. Seeing that there's more and more people wanting to challenge themselves, wanting to push themselves a little bit further in life, and wanting to push themselves a little bit further out of their comfort zone. And, everybody's workouts look a little bit different. Everybody's nutrition looks a little bit different. But at the end of the day, what I am proud of is seeing people push themselves, because that's what this program is about. And it's about tailoring, the workouts, the nutrition, etc., to your goals, to where you're at right now, and having an honest representation of what pushing yourself looks like. Because for everybody, that's different. Obviously, we all have a different starting point. We all have a different fitness level. We all have a different background and knowledge about, fitness and exercise, nutrition, etc. So it's pretty cool to see a lot of people starting to push themselves. And when I was talking to one of my friends that just recently started this thing, he was basically asking me about the reading, and he was like, hey, do you think it's okay for me to change, the 10 pages of reading to like a half hour of reading? I'm assuming that's because maybe 10 pages takes him longer than a half hour. He might not be able to do it, whatever it is. My answer was pretty blatant. It was pretty frank. And I said, no, I don't think that that's acceptable. And I don't think that it's acceptable for one simple reason, that it's changing the actual skeleton of the program. You're actually trying to alter the rules or deviate from the actual rules. Now, a lot of the rules are pretty loose. They're like kind of like the workouts. Nobody tells you what the workouts have to be. You can do whatever challenges you, whatever actually pushes you out of your comfort zone, your physical and mental comfort zone. Nobody tells you what nutrition plan to read or follow. Nobody tells you even what books to read. They just have to be like kind of self-development, maybe business, maybe mental health, maybe whatever books are going to help you improve. I think that Andy just talks about in the program that the books should be about self-improvement or improving your business, etc. Currently, I'm reading Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink. I've read tons of different books since I've done this program. This is the third time I've done it. So if you're looking for a book list from me, then reach out to me. I can give you some book suggestions. But in terms of the actual rule set, I don't think it's really acceptable or going to help you out in any way possible to start to change the rules in and of themselves. I think that that's pretty clear, because the point of doing a program like this is to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And if you start to try and make changes to make it more comfortable, it kind of defeats the entire purpose. In fact, for a lot of us, and I know I can speak for myself personally, when I get into the mindset of like, okay, fuck, I need to do a program like this again to kind of get myself back on track in my life, both with my mental health, my physical health, my nutrition, etc. I know it's because I've been compromising in areas of my life. I've been trying to bend the rules. I've been trying to have too many cheat meals, spend my money too frivolously, maybe compromising pretty much every area of my life. And that's why I find myself needing programs like this, because I think, maybe I'm one of those people that I just feel like I try and cut corners too many times in life. And that's exactly why I am where I am, when I'm feeling like I'm not where I want to be, if that makes sense. And so I think it's pretty clear that the fact that we try and cut corners, the fact that we try and make things easier all the time, the fact that we try and make things more convenient, the fact that we try and make things easier for ourselves and less challenging and a little bit more tailored just for us is the reason why we're at where we're at when we're not feeling like we're at where we should be at. I feel like that compromise is what we're trying to kick when we do a program like 75 Hard. And so I just wanted to kind of make that very clear. I think it's a pretty easy program to follow. In fact, a lot of these things are very easy to do. It's not like they're difficult things to do. They're just easy not to do. The reading every day, the exercising for 45 minutes twice a day, following a meal plan, not having booze, taking the progress picture, no cheat meals. These aren't things that are difficult to do. In fact, we can do them. If I were to tell you just to do it for one day, you'd be like, yeah, okay, I can do that. The difficulty comes when you have to do it 75 consecutive days without any deviation, regardless of what conditions come up in your life, regardless of what happens. And I think that that's a pretty good, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's not difficult to do. It's just easy not to do. It's easy to make those compromises. It's easy to have those deviations in the plans because things in life get fucked up sometimes. And that's exactly what the program is here to kind of show you, is that you can do all of the essential things in your life even when things do get fucked up. And now recently, obviously, like I said, I've got a lot of people that I kind of talk to about their lives, and I talk to them about my life. And one of my friends recently had a family member pass away. I've got another one of my friends who just went he underwent an injury that's pretty substantial. I've got other friends, obviously, dealing with a bunch of other different things. And those are the times when it's most important to not fall off track with certain things in our lives. Now, of course, when you have a family member pass away or something fucking extreme happens to you, it's completely normal to feel fucked up. It's completely normal to have less energy, to not feel like you want to do certain things, to maybe give yourself compromises with the food you eat, maybe the liquor that you drink, whatever your fucking crutch is, or just to lock yourself away and try and hide from life's problems. And I think that that's a natural reaction that we all feel. I think that that's completely normal. I know that there's been so many times in my life where I've done the exact same thing, where I start using drugs, I start using alcohol, I stop exercising as much, I kind of separate myself from my friends, my family members, and I just try and get into a little bit of a shell. And I know that for myself, that only compounds depression. It only compounds anxiety. All it does is put you in a worse position to deal with the fucking trauma that you're going through. And so I'm not saying that you have to go out and work fucking 10 hours a day and do fucking 6 workouts a day and fucking keep grinding even harder and harder and harder. But I am thinking, what's the best way to honor, this person that we lost? What's the best way to honor this person that maybe it's not like a loss of a family member or anything, but maybe it's just like, how can I make myself better so that I can overcome this problem that I'm dealing with? And it's during those times that's most important to do. Those are the times that we feel like we should compromise the most, and that I feel like that's the most important time that we shouldn't. Because like I said, all of that's going to do, if you go out and you eat a fucking bunch of junk food day after day and you're locking yourself in your room and you're hiding, you're a little bit of a recluse from your family members or your friends, you stop working, you start fucking hitting the bottle, you start using drugs. We all know that those are the things that are just going to compound, the depression, the anxiety, etc. We all know when you invest in fucking mutual funds or, when you make any investment, you have what's called compounding interest. And that can work in your favor. But it also works against you as well, and it can be to your detriment, because our actions, like an investment of your money, have compounding interest as well. And the same way that investments have compounding interest, so does your debt. And we all know basic finances, I'm assuming. But when you get credit card debt, when you get any consumer debt, it's got compounding interest. And so you're paying interest on top of the interest that compounds more and more and more. And these decisions that we make, these bad decisions, these unhealthy decisions, like using drugs, hitting the bottle, letting your fucking self slip on your nutrition, stopping exercising, gaining more weight, etc., maybe stopping work, whatever it could be, these have negative compounding interest as well. We start to lose confidence. We start to lose self-esteem. We start to lose discipline. We start to lose, accountability for our own actions. We start to lose, the feeling of making someone else proud, the feeling of making ourselves proud. And I feel like there's no amount of time that's going to heal certain wounds. Some things are just going to hurt us for a long fucking period of time. There's no set fucking time like, oh, in 1 month I'll feel better and then I'll get back on track. In 2 months I'll feel better and then I'll get back on track. Like, these are things that they're going to come up again and again in life. You're going to get triggered because of a memory that comes up or something else happens, whatever it could be. And your job is to put yourself in the best position possible to not only overcome this negative event that's happened in your life, but to overcome the events that are going to continuously happen, because life just, has a tendency of throwing curveballs at us and having reoccurring themes of, struggle. And that's not always a bad thing, because those struggles, those adversities that we go through, for starters, all humans that ever existed have had to go through them. But second of all, it's like those are the adversities that make us who we need to be. Those are the things that make us stronger. And it might feel unfair. It might feel like it's like, what the fuck? Why am I going through this right now? Why do I have to go through this? But I can assure you that there's other people going through the exact same thing right now. And wouldn't it give you purpose to be able to support those people through their tough times? Wouldn't it give you purpose to be able to help someone say, hey, I know that you're hurting. I'm hurting right now as well, but we can get through this together. If not for yourself, then do it for other people, right? Like, strengthen yourself so that you can get through this and help other people through this darkness as well. Because I can guarantee you that if nobody's going through what you're going through right now, which I'm sure they are, then I bet that you're going to fucking meet someone that you love, that you care about, that's going to go through the same situation. And if not the exact same situation, maybe something similar. And you can take the lessons that you've learned from going through what you're going through right now that seems unfair, that seems fucked up, that seems like it's fucking life-changing. And you can take those lessons and learn from them. And if there's not some fucking prophetic lesson, like, maybe it's just some fucked up event that happened in your life, then at least you'll be able to comfort someone that's going through something similar in the future, or even going through something similar right now. You can use that to maybe relate to someone that feels like they have nobody that can relate to them. And I'm not trying to say that everything's a fucking blessing, even though a lot of things are. Some things are just fucked up and unfair. And it doesn't make sense why we have to go through them. And it doesn't fucking, seem right. But that's just how life can be sometimes. It can be unfair. It can be fucked up. And I feel like a lot of us kind of get into this idea that we're in a vacuum. Like, there's nobody else going through the things that we're going through right now, or nobody else has to go through the things that we go through. But I think that if we were to take a look around, outside of ourselves once in a while, at other people, we'd see that, other people's lives are just as fucked up as ours. And that's the point of it all. And so, like I said, I'm not expecting that you're like maybe going through a tough time in your life and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to run a marathon and I'm just going to train all day and I'm just fucking going to go to work and I'm going to be gung-ho. But it's like you could at least stop yourself from making negative decisions and then build from there. So that's all I got. If you are suffering right now, if you're in the Vancouver area, link up with us. Reach out to me on Instagram. It's at Risen Fallen. I'm always fucking open ears if you need to talk. If you don't want to talk to me, you can reach out and we'll get you in the group. You can join the group chat. Maybe you'll meet someone that you do trust, that you do want to talk to. Maybe you want to come on a hike. Maybe you want to come, for one of the in-person meetups and connect with people, or just go on a hike and go for a nature walk or whatever. And maybe you don't want to talk about the things you're going through, but you just need to be around people that give a fuck. And you want to just be out in nature and enjoy a little bit of exercise. No matter what, if you are going through something right now, you're not alone, and life can and will get better for you. And there's communities out there that care about you, that are waiting to connect with you. And you can be the next fucking person that's either, needing a bit of assistance and needing a leader in your life, or maybe you could be the next leader for this group. Regardless of if you want to be a leader or you need a leader, this group is waiting for you. So thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. You can buy the merch as well, risenfallen.com. All the proceeds go towards making cool meetups and grabbing coffees and shit after. So that's all I got for today. Hope you're doing well. If you're not, reach out, talk to somebody, talk to me. I'm all ears. And hope you're doing well. Thank you guys so much. Much love and peace out. I love you.